Welcome to the Hip Horse. Tommy D along with Johnny Lowe. Thanks for joining us here. We got a big weekend of horse racing for you to talk about, Johnny. We're going to talk about 4 stakes races here in works to the Breeders' Cup. Breeders' Cup right around the corner, 30-something days. It's going to be at Del Mar, Johnny. Enough of that. How you doing, my man?
Doing fantastic, and like you said, the Breeders' Cup is right around the corner. We're going to go over a few races today. They're going to be probably leading into the Breeders' Cup. One might even include the horse that could be the favorite for the race. And then we're going to go over a 2-year-old race out in New York that could possibly have some implications for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Beautiful, Johnny. And if you're new to the channel, Tommy D, Johnny Lowe, please join us. Johnny looking at the pedigree, traditional handicapper, taking a different view at horse racing. If you're a fan of the sport, we're here for you. We love the game. If you're one of the regulars, throw down in the comments who you like this weekend. Right, Johnny, let's get to the first race we're going to talk about. It's going to be the Woodward from Belmont. Let's stroll through the field first, and then we will give out a couple picks there. The one horse, Dr. Post. Give us your thoughts on the one horse.
Yeah, so Dr. Post, he was a $400,000 purchase at the Keeneland September sale in 2018. He's by Quality Road out of Hennessy Mare. It's a really nice cross in the breeding. He has a win at Belmont as well. I think that this one turn gives him a good shot as a real late closer. To be able to show what he's got down the stretch. He's not going to lose too much ground on 2 turns, which usually closers do, and it makes it a little bit harder for them to come in. He's going to have to step up his game. He ran third last time at Del Mar against Tripoli and Tiz Magician. He was just way too far back. He had too much to do. They have those tight turns. You can't really do that there. So I think he's a little bit more adept to where he's at right now, and with a hot pace, it could play into his hands.
Yeah, Johnny, I totally agree with you. Late running style is going to need a really fast pace up front to have a chance here, and it's going to have to step up a little bit to get the win here. I do like the Pletcher Irad-Ortiz combo, 33% on 41 mounts at Belmont. Gotta like that. And the last time the horse went from 1.25 miles to 1 1/8 miles, it did win the Monmouth Cup. So maybe another positive there. The son of Quality Road is going to have to step it up, Johnny. That's the one horse, Dr. Post. Let's move on to the 2, Maxfield. Your thoughts on the 2 horse?
So Maxfield, he would have been the favorite, I believe, in the 2020 Kentucky Derby. He was going to go into it undefeated at that point and basically untested. Minor injury, little setback. He didn't make the race. He won a few races in a row, and then he ran at Santa Anita, the Santa Anita Gold Cup. They were shooting for that Grade 1 1.25 mile 2-turn race, which is really big for the breeding shed. And he came up just short. He ran third by a couple lengths to Idol and Express Train. He was carrying 124 pounds. Idol was carrying 119, which, I don't know, maybe in a race like that, they should all be carrying the same weight, but who knows, maybe that's not the reason why he lost, but it could be. He came back to win a couple of Grade 2 races, and last out in the Grade 1 Whitney, Nick's Go set his own fractions and just ran away from the field. He's by Street Cry out of Velvety, who's by Bernardini. It's a really nice cross. He's got good speed on top and stamina on the bottom. He's 7-5. This homebred for Godolphin. He's earned the favoritism in this race.
Yeah, Johnny, Maxfield looks to be tough here at 7-5. Second in the Grade 1 Whitney at Saratoga. Brendan Walsh deciding to add the blinkers here, so we'll see how that goes, making a big change here. This horse has 4 graded stakes wins under its belt. Never raced over the Belmont track. I guess that would be maybe the one factor I'm looking at. Jose Ortiz ridden the horse, won 5 out of 6 times aboard, so 7-5 looks like a short price, but that's the 2 Maxfield. Let's move on to number 3, Art Collector. What do you think?
So Art Collector, he got me pretty good one day. I bet Swiss Skydiver, and he smoked her by 3.5 lengths. Art Collector, he took a little break between November 2020 and came back June 2021. Ran up the creek, but since then he's had a couple of nice wins, good numbers, and he's stepping into this race with somewhat of a pace advantage, I believe. I think this is a race where if I'm the connections of Art Collector and I'm Luis Saez, I'll probably send the horse and see how long we can go. He's by Bernardini out of a Distorted Humor mare, Distorted Legacy. I think that's going to be his best shot. He could be the pace of the race.
Yeah, Johnny, I think you're on to something there, Art Collector. You might want to give Luis Saez a call there because this could be the play. Back-to-back wins for the son of Bernardini here, putting up 103 Bayer in both of those contests. 4 for 4 at the distance, Johnny. You got Mott and Saez, like you said. Game horse, won 7 out of 14 career starts. So Art Collector, if he could sneak away, might be a good one to look at. That's the 3 horse. Let's move on to number 5, Code of Honor. Johnny, your thoughts here?
Yeah, so Code of Honor now, he's been in some controversial races, running against Maximum Security a couple times, but he's really held his own. The horse, to me, he's got that nice turf breeding. Noble Mission, who is by Galileo, out of Reunited, who's by Dixie Union. But for whatever reason, this horse has actually never seen the turf, and he's fared really well in the dirt. The Noble Missions seem to do okay on both surfaces. In 15 career races, he's won 6 times. His last race, the race he had at Monmouth, it was a grade 3 race. He won by 2.5 lengths over a horse, West Will Power. West Will Power got beat by Forza De Oro by 3 lengths in the slop. So I'm not really sure. That was off a little bit of a layoff since January. I'm not really sure if that speed figure is going to hold up in here, or if it was just fast for that track. But he's going to need to at least repeat that effort, maybe even step up a little bit to win here. Second off the layoff, we'll see if he does improve or if he bounces off of that effort.
Yeah, Johnny, like you said, he won a grade 3 at Monmouth after a 6-month break. Won 3 out of 6 starts at Belmont, so does like the track here. The only thing that worries me is 0 for 4 at the distance, Johnny, would be a little bit of a question here. You do get Paco Lopez up. Got to like the combo there. $2.8 million earner, so this horse has made some money along the way, so definitely a little class there. But that's the 5, Code of Honor. Let's move on to the 6, Forza De Oro. Johnny, your thoughts here on the 6?
Yeah, so Forza De Oro, this horse is by Speightstown out of Falari El Oro, who's by Hardspun. I think that when this horse runs a 1.125 miles, I think that the 1-turn 1.125 miles suits it the most based upon that breeding. I think this is going to be a tough race for him. Last time out in the Jockey Gold Cup, running against Max Player and Happy Saber, he somewhat stayed with them. In the end, they ended up taking him down. He ended up losing by 4.5 lengths. But before that, he was on a nice 3-race win streak with pretty good numbers. He's lightly raced. He's got 7 races, so he's coming into this with a little less experience than the other horses in this race. But I do think coming off that Fresh Bullet workout, and he has a little bit of a pace advantage, I wouldn't throw this horse out.
Yeah, the 6 for De Oro, like you're saying, nice workout coming in 3rd in the Grade 1 Jockey Club from Saratoga last time out. Was the favorite at the post, so a lot of play there, Johnny. 3 races, prior to that. I think that Mott Alvarado is a very, very dangerous combo. You got a nice workout tab coming into the race. Going to try to get back into form here after that 3-win and picking up a loss. So that's the 6 for De Oro. All right, let's get to a couple picks, Johnny. Our picks for the Woodward. Let's go for it.
Okay, so I would say I'm gonna keep Forza De Oro in the picture. So he might not be my pick to click to win the race, but I'm going to keep him in the picture in exotics. I think that you have to have him in there. I think my 3rd pick is going to be Art Collector. I think he just has that pace advantage. If the 4-horse Mo Gotcha has got really, really cheap speed, I don't think he's really going to push him far enough to wear him out. And if Forza De Oro doesn't go out with him, I don't know who else will. So it could be his race to lose. I think number 2 underneath, I'm gonna pick Dr. Post. If Forza De Oro does decide to go out and we have the blinkers on Maxfield, and it turns into a little bit of a contested pace, that could play into Dr. Post's hands. I think that he's going to probably improve off his last race. He only has 10 races under his belt. He's won 4 of them. I think he's going to have the horse with the most kick at the end. And then my number 1 pick is going to be Maxfield. Maxfield is just so classy. He runs huge every time. That effort he ran against Nick's Go last time out, even in defeat, it just you can tell how much class this horse has. So it's going to be a little chalky up top, but I guess we're gonna see what happens. And I think the implications for the Breeders' Cup Classic is probably the horses that finish in the top 3 here are probably all running the Classic.
Yeah, Johnny, I agree. Maxfield, very classy here. It's going to be tough to beat here. Art Collector might be the best shot with that pace up front if it could sneak away. So I do agree there. Talking about the Woodward from Belmont. That's race 10 on Saturday, everybody. All right, let's move to the West Coast. Johnny, let's move on over to Santa Anita. We got the Awesome. Again, this is the last winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Automatic berth in. Let's take a look at the field, Johnny. First, we have Tiz Magician. Your thoughts on Tiz Magician here, the one horse?
So Tiz Magician, what can you say? This horse has done everything they've asked. He's hit the board in 13 of 19 tries. They like to run this horse at 1.5 miles, long races. They love long races with this horse. He does pretty well at it. Going 1.1 miles though, he's only ran once. He had a second place finish, and this horse was second last out in the Pacific Classic. I actually think that 1.1 miles does suit the horse, and I think that this is a race that could set up for him. It seems like there's a lot of speed in there, but he's not afraid to either set the pace or sit off the lead. So at least he's going to be close up when they turn for home. He's by Tiz now, out of Magic Union by Dixie Union, and they purchased him for $150,000. I like the breeding on this horse. Tiz now is a 1X line, Fem line stallion. I love those. I think that we're going to see the best of Tiz the Magician this weekend.
Yeah, Tiz the Magician here is the one horse, little speed there. Richard Mandela, what caught my eye is top rider Flavian Pratt riding there. Rode 4 times, jumps back aboard. Their jockey-trainer combo, 41% at Santa Anita, Johnny. Won the Cougar Grade 3 before that at Del Mar, before his last race in the Classic. 103 buyer figure. My racehorse, Splendrift, so if they win, there's going to be a lot of people in the winner's circle, Johnny. Let's move on to number 2, Midcourt. Your thoughts on Midcourt?
So Midcourt's only ran 1 time this year. He's by Midnight Loot out of Mayo on the Side. I love the name for that broodmare. He's by French Deputy. He's got a really nice cross in his breeding, and he showed a lot of talent in his career. I think that this is a big ask for him to come into the Awesome again. Having only ran once this year, which was in June. It was a win, facing way steeper competition, and I don't think he's got much of a pace advantage. So this is going to be a race for him that might be a little tough.
Yeah, I think it might be an uphill battle, like you said, and one easily bunch versus softer competition allowance non-winners at Santa Anita in June. So he's taking some time off. John Sheriff's is 20% on stakes races. Maldonado is going to be up, so I'm not quite sure about this one, too. That's number 2, Midcourt. Might need a race at 12-1. Let's move on to number 3, Express Train. Express Train at 4-1. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so Express Train, he's by Union Rags out of I'm a Flake by Mineshaft. Not the most common cross in a pedigree. I would say this wouldn't be a pedigree pick for me, but he has ran some really big races. He fits with this company really well. He was a big disappointment in the Pacific Classic. I just don't think he wants 1.25 miles. He's ran it a few times. He came up just shy in the Santa Anita handicap, but then since then he's regressed in his other 2 races at the distance. I think 1.1 miles kind of fits him a little better, and from a pace advantage, I think that if he sits back a little bit and there's a speed tool, I think he's going to come running.
There we go. Express Train number 3, another John Sheriff's trained horse. Like I said, 21% in the stakes. Maybe this might be the right one. This horse was favored going into the Pacific Classic. Like you said, maybe didn't want the distance, Johnny. Did win the Grade 2 handicap at Del Mar, so it's got the class here. The son of Union Rags. Santa Anita Records got 6 starts, 1 win, 3 place in 1 show, so always in the mix there, and it's able to win the big race. That's Express Train at number 3. Let's move on to number 4, Silhouette Boy. Your thoughts here, Johnny?
Yeah, so Stiletto Boy, he's by Shackelford out of Rosie's Ransom, who's by Marquetry. Pedigree-wise, this isn't a standout either. He showed up last time out in the Shared Belief. This horse was running in Prairie Meadows and Oaklawn Park before heading out to California. He was almost 23-1 when he only ran 3rd by a few lengths to Medina Spirit last out. So it did show something. This is going to be a really tough spot for him. I'm guessing his best shot is if he tries to sit off the pace like Express Train's going to need to and come running down the lane. But I think at 20-1, you're probably not going to see the odds go down too much.
Yeah, Johnny, like you said, Stiletto Boy third in the shared belief last time. Lost by 3.5 to Medina Spirit, who's in this race. It did have a bull at work. I guess that's the one thing. And then you got DeSormo's experience aboard, but I think it's a reach at 20-1. That's the 4 horse. Let's move on to the 5 horse. Medina Spirit, 5-2 morning line. Your thoughts?
What can you say about this horse? He won the Kentucky Derby. He came back and it didn't really run very much in the Preakness. It was a hot pace, and he kind of threw in the towel. Gave him some time off. Came back in the shared belief. Ran against Rock Your World, who he had some steam as a hot horse coming into the race, and he beat him pretty soundly. They didn't ship him to Pennsylvania. He said it was a close position, but let's be honest. I think that was going to be a really hot pace. Shipping him all the way to Pennsylvania. Breeders' Cup Classic is in California. This is the place you're probably going to want to run your horse anyway. Running against older, see how he does in that kind of company. Medina Spirit is by Britannico, who's by Giants Causeway. It's a Stormcat line. He's out of Mongolian Changa, who's by Brilliant Speed. Britannico, interesting stallion. He doesn't have very many progeny on the track, but the ones he does produce, they win. So I'm sure that his book is going to be more full than it was for the crop that Medina Spirit came out of. But this is going to be an interesting race. There's a lot of speed here, and we know he likes to lead.
Yeah, Johnny, like you said, surprise winner in the Kentucky Derby at 12-1, third in the Preakness. The class is here, scratching out of the Penn Derby, like we said. A little interesting. Johnny V flying out for the mount, obviously. 8 career starts, 4 wins, 3 place, and 1 show. The class is here. The pace scenario could work out in his favor. Workouts look good. What else could you say? It's Medina Spirit at number 5. Let's move on to number 6, Azul Coast at 12-1. Another Bob Baffert horse. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so this is the other Baffert here. Azul Coast by Super Saver out of Sky Treasure. He did win a nice race last time out. Beat Zestful by a head. I mean, he's coming off the pace, so it's the other Baffert at 12-1. Who knows? I think he's going to need a really hot pace to run into, and hopefully it sets up for him. It's going to be an uphill battle for him. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree, Johnny. Improving Colt. Baffert puts another one in here. 3 starts. Just hitting the board with 1 place in those 3 starts at Santa Anita. All right, let's move on to the next. Tripoli at number 7 for John Sadler. Your thoughts on this one?
So Tripoli is by Kitten's Joy out of Love Train, who's by Tappet. His pedigree screams turf, so of course they ran him on turf his whole career. Finally, they decided, you know what, this just isn't working out. We're gonna run him in a dirt race, see what happens. Runs 100 Beyer figure, beats Bold Endeavor and Synthesis by 12 1/4 lengths. He was a pretty nice allowance horse. They say, oh wow, maybe we found something. They run him in the San Diego Handicap, runs second by 1/2 length, bring it back in the Pacific Classic, and he wins the race. So I think the horse is just going really well right now. He's definitely a horse to look out for.
Yeah, Johnny here talking about Tripoli. Showed up in a big way in the Classic there. Tiago Piera and Sadler, again, a nice little combo there. This 4-year-old son to Kitten's Joy. I think it's moving in the right direction here. So that's number 7, Tripoli. Let's move on to number 8, Idol at 5-1.
So Idol has the classic 1.25 mile breeding. He's by Curlin out of Marion Ravenwood, who's by APND. This is I couldn't be more of a classic breeding. Idol's really lightly raced, though. He's only ran 6 times. He's won 3, second twice, and third once. Last time out, he won the Grade 1 Santa Anita Handicap over Express Train, and the last jump at the wire. He's a horse that comes off the pace, and he takes a while to get going. I don't know if 1 1/8 is going to be the distance that he really prefers. It takes him a little bit of time to get his stride going. I think he's more 1.25 mile type. And coming off that big layoff, I think he might need a race.
Yeah, Johnny, a 6-month layoff to be exact. Richard Baltus does do pretty good. Plus 180 days, he's 26%. And this horse does have class. Like you said, did beat Express Train last time out when it ran in March. That's the number 8 horse, Idol. This is one of the bigger fields of all the stakes races of the day, Johnny. We are doing this before the scratches or anything, so there might be a few small changes, but hopefully everyone's running for the Awesome Again here. Johnny, Awesome Again, let's give a top 3 here out. for the Awesome again. This is race 10 at Santa Anita. Number 3?
Okay, so with number 3, I think I'm going to take Tiz Magician. He's just, he's got the rail, he's got the speed. He's probably going to go out there with Medina Spirit, and he's a little older, he's got more experience, and he's been running a lot longer distances. I think this horse is fit. He's going to be a tough horse to go out there with. And with Pratt aboard, I think he's got a really good shot to go out there, and I wouldn't say steal the race, but he could earn the victory here.
Yeah, I love the jockey trainer, and I love when Pratt jumps aboard your horse here. You know that, Johnny, Pratt riding for your first win. Tripoli here is going to be number 2. Is that correct?
Tripoli's going to be number 2.
All right.
I just love everything that he's been doing on the dirt. He's going to be sitting off the pace a little bit. I think that he's going to get a pace to run into, and he should get first run. I don't think he's going to be too far back. I think he'll be in a good position, and I don't see why he can't repeat the effort that he's had the last few times that he's ran.
Yeah, Tripoli seems to be getting on track there in the spring and moving forward, Johnny, so I like the call in number 2. Let's move on to number 1. Who's number 1 for the Awesome again?
I think we're going to surprise people a little bit here. We're going to take Express Train. He was the favorite, like you said last time, Pacific Classic. Did he like the distance? Didn't seem like it, but he beat Tripoli 2 back, and I think if there's a really hot pace, he can sit back, maybe a little bit behind Tripoli, and shoot at those horses and try to run them down in the stretch.
Yeah, John Sheriffs knows how to get it done in the big race. That's number 1, Express Train. That's top 3 for the Awesome again at Santa Anita on Saturday, everybody. We appreciate you joining us. We got 2 more races to talk about. If you're new to the channel and you're a horse racing fan, give us the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. We got much more content, especially with the Breeders' Cup right around the corner. We also have a special preview video of how to claim a horse. We go through the whole process with Johnny winning his first race at Del Mar, and that's why I was joking. Flavian Pratt was aboard for him. So let's move on to the next race, Johnny. We're going to talk about the Lucas Classic real quick. This is at Churchill Downs. It doesn't look to be too much of a competitive field. What do you see when you look at this race?
I see Nick Sco, Rosario, and Brad Cox. That's it. I think the important part about this race, he's 2-5. Is it a betting race? I wouldn't put any money on this race. But the real key is here, how tough of a race is it going to be? Is he going to just go out to a nice, easy lead? It looks like a lot of horses are going to be coming off the pace and just finish strong. You don't want to see too much out of the horse. You don't want him to be in a neck-and-neck duel all the way down the stretch with the Breeders' Cup Classic right around the corner. I think if he has a nice, easy race, goes out there, beats horses like Tacitus and Independence Hall, he's going to probably be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's why this is important to see how he runs.
Yeah, and Nick Sco is a pretty solid horse here, Johnny. So I did hear you mention Tacitus. That's the second choice here. Any thoughts on Tacitus before we move on to the next race?
I would have zero interest in that horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic, so I don't think he can hang with the likes of these other horses. Really, the only thing that really piques my interest there is seeing how Nick Sco wins the race. We saw a few years ago in the Awesome again, Shared Belief. It was supposed to be a nice little tune-up for him. Espinoza was on Sky Kingdom, floated the horse 6 wide around both turns, and then he had to dig deep to beat FedBiz, and I think it took a little more out of him than they really wanted to. So it's something that we want to keep an eye on just to make sure that Nick Sco doesn't get too chewed up. If he does, that could really open things up for the Breeders' Cup Classic. So
if Nick Sco wins this race, you think he goes into the Breeders' Cup Classic as the dead favorite, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. All right, let's move on to the next and final race here on this big race weekend. Like Johnny said, there's a lot of big races to pay attention to all over the country. So if you're a fan, get involved, everybody. Let's take a look at race 8. The last one we're going to take a look is the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. This is going 1 mile, Johnny. The first one we have is number 1, Wit for Todd Pletcher. Your thoughts here?
Yeah, so Wit's by Practical Joke out of Numero de Oro. He's a really nice 1 fem line. He won his first 2 races by 6 lengths and 8 lengths, and then he came back last time out, stumbled bad at the break, and then he was basically out of it after that. This horse, people love to bet this horse. He was 45 cents on the dollar, almost even money, and then 65 cents on the dollar last time out in the Hopeful Grade 1 Hopeful. He's got a lot of talent. Seven furlongs, stumble, couldn't quite make up any ground. this time a 1-turn mile, it should hit him right in the mitt for his pedigree.
Yeah, Johnny, you're going to need a big rebound here to get this done. Like you said, second in the hopeful after winning 2. Gets bet every time, like you said, Rapoli Stables. Todd Pletcher, very good with the 2-year-olds. He's at 24%, so that's the one Wit horse. Let's move on to number 2, Prankster, at 5-2. Another Todd Pletcher horse. We must be in New York.
Yeah, so my Prankster has the real it's becoming a classic cross at this point with Into Mischief over My Wandy's Girl, who's by Flower Alley. Flower Alley is actually by Distorted Humor, and Distorted Humor in the Into Mischief cross is becoming really, really popular. So, for example, Whitsire, Practical Joke, he's by Into Mischief, he's out of a Distorted Humor mare. Life is Good, by Into Mischief, out of a Distorted Humor mare. It's kind of like becoming there's a list that's starting to grow with this. So for me, the breeding here is top notch as we're going to get. The horse won by 10 lengths on debut. I see this horse as a real life threat. 5-2, 1-turn mile. I don't see why this horse should have any problems from going 6.5 furlongs to 1-turn mile.
Yeah, Johnny, talking about the 2, My Prankster, Todd Pletcher, like we said, good with the 2-year-olds. Luis Saez gets the call, winning by 10, definitely going to be right up there in the mix here. Let's move on to number 3, Jack Christopher for Chad Brown, morning line 9-5.
So Jack Christopher is by Munnings. He's out of Russian No Blushin' by half hours. The interesting thing about the bottom side of this horse's pedigree is Grandma dropped Street Boss. Street Boss was a really nice horse. He won by 8 3/4 on debut, and he's looking at 9-5 right now off his bullet work. This horse should love 1 turn and should definitely be a horse to keep an eye on in here. The horse that ran second, Hoist the Gold, in his debut came back to win, so we know that race might have a little punch.
Yeah, Chad Brown having some struggles right now, 9% winning, not traditional Chad Brown. Like you said, you got that bullet work coming in. This might be the one to get him back on track. That's the 3-horse, Jack Christopher. Let's move on to number 4, Kavad. This is a bomb at 50-1. What do you think here?
Kavad's by Leah out of Weekend Connection by Pulpit. I don't really see anything in the pedigree. It was a $3,500 purchase at the sale. He's made almost $100,000, so that's nice. But I don't really see him getting a call at any point in the race.
Yeah, I got not much to say here. This one lost by 20 in a grade 3. I think it's way above its head. Number 5, Gun Knight at 4-1. Steve Asmussen sending a runner over. Winchell Thoroughbreds and his boy Santana Jr. Number 5, your thoughts here?
So Gunight's by Gunrunner. Gunrunner's been a really hot sire ever since his first crops hit the ground running. Out of Simple Surprise, who's by Cowboy Cal. That's a really nice pedigree cross for me, and he's been doing pretty well in sprints. I can't wait to see this horse go 2 turns. I think he's going to want 2 turns. And Asmussen last year had a horse in here named Jackie's Warrior that did pretty well in the race. He ended up winning the race easy. He had another horse at the time, was kind of a sneaky horse, Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon took a while to develop. So did Gunrunner. Will Gunnight take a while to develop, or is this the race where he steps up and really shows what he has? I'm not sure. This is definitely a horse that I would keep my eye on, and I'm going to include him in my wagers whenever he runs, because I think this could be the next Asmussen developing horse.
Yeah, hit the board every time. It's been on the track, Johnny, so you might be right there. Sprint to route, Steve Asmussen, 20%. Let's move on to the 6, Common Performance, 10-1, another Todd Pletcher horse.
Yeah, so this horse made his debut in the slop. He's by Union Rags out of Smitten, who's by Tappet. Pedigree-wise, I don't see much. I don't know. Todd Pletcher, he's surprised us in New York a time or two before.
Yeah, this one won second in the mud last time out, so doesn't even have a win under the belt. Be going up pretty big here, but as you said, Todd Pletcher, you never discount him. All right, that's the run through the Champagne Stakes. Let's give out our top 3 here, Johnny. What do you think, number 3?
So number 3, I think I'm going to go with Jack Christopher. I really like the breeding on Jack Christopher, and it was a very sharp debut. He's a little older. He's born in January, so that gives him an edge on a couple of the horses. I don't see why he can't repeat that performance. And with Jose Ortiz aboard, I think they're gonna give him a nice little run down the stretch.
Yeah, Jack Christopher, Chad Brown trying to get back on track. This might be the one. Who do you got at number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to take Gunite. I think as they stretch out, it's going to improve his chances of winning. I know Witt stumbled really badly at the start, but in the last race that he had against him, but he did beat him pretty soundly, and I have a feeling that Gunite's going to be able to repeat that performance. He's got 5 races under his belt at this point, which pretty much the most experience out of any horse with a chance in here.
Steve Asmussen, winningest trainer ever. I know he could get the job done in a big race. Let's move on to number 1. Who do you think?
My Prankster. I think My Prankster could be an absolute monster. This could be his coming out party. If he doesn't go off as the favorite, I think I might have to keep a close eye on those odds.
Johnny, I like it there because right now 5-2. You might not be with Jack Christopher and some of the other horses. This could be an interesting field to look at. I know it's kind of short with 6 horses, but a good one to watch. Anything else you want to say, my friend, before we get out of here?
Yeah, hopefully you guys good luck this weekend, and we're gonna stay on this Breeders' Cup Classic trail and try to pump some videos out for you. And we will be continuing to work on our documentary for the claiming. So keep an eye out for that, and it should be a fun next month or so.
Yeah, Johnny, excited when Breeders' Cup comes into town here. Also, one more reminder, if you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. A lot of Breeders' Cup information coming up for you. Tommy D and Johnny Lowe from the Rooster Coop. A lot of great stuff for you. We appreciate you. Throw down in the comments who you like this weekend in the races. To all the regulars, we appreciate you. Thank you. Cheers and good luck this weekend, everybody. We'll catch you next time on the Hip Horse.